Other issues we have to deal with very often. You'll see people grab both your hands when you're coming in to get a hold of them. So if I'm coming in on Brian, he may grab my hands to try to restrain me. This is a bad position because he's getting way too close to me, my weapons, and all of this. So the first variation is always the escape. Again, elbows up, drop your weight, 2 steps back, go to your primary weapon. It's just that simple. Again, you're not working on the plane of his strength. He's pulling on my hands. He weighs 260. I cannot get away from him by simply struggling. If you resort to natural reflex, you're in real trouble here, because if he keeps coming, you've got a problem. So again, we're going to change the plane of the forces, bring the elbow up, bring the elbow up. I'm going to drive them both down at the same time. Step, step, primary weapon. He grabs. I've got control of the situation just that fast. I'm coming in, he grabs, primary weapon. That's where we want to be on these. Step back 2 steps, primary weapon. Keep moving back if he's going for weapons of his own. One more time, just slowly on this angle. He grabs, elbow up, drop your weight, 2 steps, primary weapon. That's your escape variation on a double hand grab. Now the control variation on this kata is going to incorporate several elements that we've looked at in fundamentals. As he grabs, again, I want to be sure that my bigger muscles are doing the work here. I'm going to bring this arm down so that the back of Brian's hand comes up. I'm then going to counter grab on his hand with the other hand. I'll bring my elbow in, and you'll notice this is what breaks down Brian's wrist for me. So that essentially what I'm coming out with is a flexed wrist lock. Again, he grabs, elbow up, elbow up. Now I've got the wrist grab, or the wrist lock. I'm going to bring the elbow in to break the wrist down. From here, I'll just do my J step back, go to my normal straight armbar takedown. Well, we're going to introduce a variable on this in a minute, so I want to be sure you have the approach. I want to be sure you get in on your opponent with all the right little details, and then we'll study a fun outcome for this. He grabs, elbow up, counter grab, but be sure you're bringing the elbow up on the other side. I've got my thumb behind his, or between his first 2 knuckles. As I bring the elbow over, that's what's going to break down Brian's wrist for me, so I can keep this joint lock. This also gives me the variable of going to a straight wrist lock from this position as well. Again, he grabs, elbow up, wrist lock, and then as I step back, I'm pressuring on Brian's tricep tendon, pushing down to drive him to the floor. Normal circumstances, he'll probably just go straight down, bring the arm back, drop the knees in, and he's cuffing. What we're going to explore on this is an option where he doesn't come straight down, but instead lands on his side. He comes in, grabs, elbow up, wrist lock, bring the elbow over to secure the wrist. J step, pressure down. As he goes down, he lands on his side. Now he's going to be a problem if I don't know what to do. I'm simply going to step in, and as this arm straightens out, step around the arm and kick him right in the small of the back. Then I'm going to sit straight down, lock my knees, secure his head, and pull the elbow down until I get a tap. He then says, I'm a nice guy, I won't hurt you anymore, but I don't believe him. I'm now going to bring the foot side leg behind Brian's head and kick him over as I bring my leg over into what's called an omoplata. It's a shoulder lock. From this position, now Brian is cuffable without me leaving this position until the cuffs are in. Once the cuffs are on, I simply extract my leg from the hole and we take him to jail. A lot of complex moves here. It's going to take some time to understand this kata, so we'll go through it several times with a lot of detail and emphasis. On this side here, he grabs, elbow up, wrist lock, bring the elbow over to break down the wrist. As I J-step back, pressure on the elbow. This brings him down, but he's on his side. He's not where I want him to be. Scoot this way just a little. So I'm going to step in fairly close to his body, but then I'm going to step around the arm. I'm going to swing my leg around Brian's head and kick him right in the small of the back. The kick isn't to do damage. The kick is to position your foot. You'll notice as I pivoted on what was my front foot, that front foot now comes right in front of Brian's head. Remember, you don't lean back on this. You sit straight down. As you sit down, turn the thumb up, pull the head with your ankle, and then straighten the arm out. Once you get the tap, you're going to have a difficult time getting him cuffed if he decides to fight again. So I'm not going to give him that chance. I'm going to bring the leg that was toward Brian's feet under his head. If he gets feisty again, I can also do some damage with my feet here. I'm going to twist this arm as I bring him over, and this arm will come up on this side of the hip. As Brian rolls over, I simply twist up. Now I have a shoulder lock on Brian's shoulder, and all I have to do is lean forward to do some permanent damage, which is not recommended. From this position, I simply encourage with the wrist lock if I need to, for him to give me the hand, I cuff him up before I remove the leg. I keep the omoplata until he is cuffed. Then all I have to do is pull my leg out, and I can roll him back up and take him to jail. Let's look at it again. He grabs, elbow up, wrist lock. Elbow over to break down the wrist. Step back, bring him down. He's on his side. Step around, kick, sit down, lock the head and the ribs, squeeze your legs together. He says tap. He's a good guy now. No, he isn't. Reach over, put your foot under his head. If he gets feisty now, you can still do some damage with your feet. Turn this hand as you roll him. Once he comes to his face, you bring your leg over the top. Put some pressure down on the shoulder. Flexed wrist lock. Give me your hand, give me your hand. He is now cuffed. You don't remove this leg until he's cuffed. You stay in a shin box until this person is completely locked up. Now you remove your leg and take him to jail. One more time. Bad guy rushes in. Here, down he goes on the side. Kick, step, lock. He's a good guy now. No, he's not. Head under, trap if you need to. Turn, roll him over. Omoplata, get the shoulder lock. Then get the flexed wrist lock. Give me your hand, give me your hand. He's cuffed, leg comes out, and the back leg goes to jail. That's going to take a lot of work. Concentrate on the details because you'll have tons of variables that you can use in other fighting situations just from learning this kata.